Hey everybody, welcome to Vidovic Arts. I'm Josh. Now, today we are working on the Spacemarines again, or the Future Soldiers. These guys are very inspired by the Halo Spartans, so if you haven't seen my previous videos on how I actually modeled these guys, go check that out, and then come back here and watch this video, because I actually didn't record any of the modeling process for these models. So if you're interested in that, yeah, you're gonna have to check that video out. Now, before we get into this video, I wanted to have a quick heads up. If you want me to work on any specifically Space Marine models in the 40k universe, leave a comment in the section below, and the most comments of like that specific model type will most likely be worked on. Well, it will be worked on, and yeah, so get commenting below, and you can just pretty much just say what it is exactly that you want, and I will be looking at the comments, and I will more than likely work on your model, and we can see how that comes out, and it'll be a video later on, so something to look forward to. So get commenting. Now, these models very heavily inspired by the Halo universe, as was this here tank. This is the Scorpion tank. I've seen some of your paint jobs out there. They are looking incredible. We already have someone who's converted it to be a Orc tank, which is really cool. I'll just throw up a couple photos here of that. You can follow him over on Thingiverse, on Instagram, and you can follow me on Instagram there as well. And you can just see a whole bunch of models that people are working on that are really cool. So go over there and give them some love if you have Instagram. If you don't, you should get it. Anyway, right here is the models that we're working on. You can see they don't look like Space Marines at all. Almost entirely different to Space Marines. If I just chuck a Space Marine from a previous model, previous video, here he is next to my new variant, which was kind of inspired by Star Wars and the Clone Troopers, and very inspired by Halo. Now, the reason I did this was because I wanted to make something more tactical looking. I say tactical, but it's got a weird hard edge style to a lot of the armors from Halo, and Star Wars is very like rounded. I think it's got rounded edges on the Clone Troopers. But these are, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's not tactical, but it definitely is in the same way. I don't know what it is about Space Marines, but you can't paint them with camouflage. It just doesn't work well for them. Whereas the Clone Troopers in Star Wars, there's like that one clone type that actually does have a whole bunch of camouflage, and that looks really awesome, and it doesn't really make sense why they went back to the full white. But, you know, each to their own. These guys are completely camouflageable. They'll look really cool. Doesn't really matter what kind of scheme you use. I'm pretty sure if you painted them to look like normal Space Marines, they could be a variant from possibly 30k or before that. They could be Thunder Warriors if you have the want to make those kind of characters. They are definitely... they're different. You can see they have a very different look to them. I like them. I think they look better, especially the bolt gun, which looks way more like a rifle now. They've got that helmet, which I've scaled up from the previous video. They've just got a lot more hard edges, and I don't know, I just like them. If this isn't for you, don't worry about it. We are going to be working on more Space Marines that are a lot more traditional to that theme of Space Marine, so we will come back to that later on. But if you're interested in some Halo-styled Marines, here they are. And I, like I said, didn't record the modeling process, but I did record the painting process, so we'll just go through that really quickly. It's nothing special. All I did was almost the exact same scheme as the tank here, and we pretty much went over with a base coat of the flat black, as always, and then came back with the greens, the undercoat greens of Lauren Forest and Elysian Green. Now, these are the two paints that I'm using for my army, for this army specifically. It makes a very olive drab kind of look. It works really well for Imperial Guard or like American that American color scheme that is really cool. It's a really cool color scheme. Won't work for Space Marines. My opinion, I don't think it looks well at all on them. But for these guys, it works really well. Now, one of the cool things that I wanted to have was kind of like an extra color in it. So like I wanted to have a yellow initially, but if I was to have a yellow, it kind of completely disregards the fact that they're supposed to be camouflaged. Because if you've got that yellow, it's just going to stand out in some sort of, wherever they're trying to hide. So I looked through some colors and I decided on a blue. Now, the blue is a very, very dark blue, but I ended up putting some highlights through it. I think the less saturation of the color, the more of a camouflage it kind of ends up being. It works really well with camouflage, is what I mean. If you were to add like a bright white or a yellow or anything that's bright, it would really remove that idea of being camouflaged. Now, I'm kind of rambling on here, but I'm really happy with the way these guys turned out in the end. I decided to splatter a little bit of mud, and I gave them that typical halo orange visor color for their eyes. It's really hard to see them, but they're there and they look really cool. I ended up putting on a texture on the base of this, and I did it in a way that I've never done before. I used PVA and then some fine sand, railway sand, and once that dried, I grabbed the contrast snakebite leather and I gave it a little run over the top of the sand, and it looks really good. It looks like kind of muddy sand, muddy dirt, and I'm really happy with how that looks. I've never done it before. Normally I just go straight into using an actual dirt texture and I paint that on and it works. But each their own. Definitely experiment with some of your models. These guys are completely free. They're available on Thingiverse. I'm not sure where I'm going to take them at the moment. I think I might put a pause on them until due notice. I will be focusing much more on Space Marines from here on in. I just wanted to get them off my chest and out there for people who might be interested in these kind of models. But yeah, I will be definitely working on Space Marines. Next, I've actually got a whole list of Marines to do, but like I said at the start, if you want me to work on anything in particular, leave a comment below. Comment as many times as you want, as long as it's not too spammy. Actually, just comment once. Just tell me what it is you want most out of anything that could be modeled. It could already exist, might be on Thingiverse already. Maybe you want to see how I might remix it or something, I don't know. Just leave a comment and I will look at them. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Next time I'll record the modeling process because there's not much to really showcase without it. But yeah, this model's really cool. Hopefully I see some of you guys paint this up. And if you do, don't forget to post a make over on Thingiverse or on Instagram using the hashtag VidovicArts as always. And I will see your work and I will leave a comment and follow you and love your work. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks for watching. A huge thanks to my patrons over on Patreon for supporting me. If you want to support me on these videos, you can head over there and pledge a couple dollars per video or per month, completely up to you. It comes with some extra exclusive models, some early access behind the scenes stuff, and yeah, you'll be helping me pay my rent, which is really, really helpful. And yeah, let's keep working on these Marines. So, as always, stay awesome and keep healthy, guys. See ya.